back to TGTV, and more specifically, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Ascot Racecourse. It is Historics auction time once again, and I brought my 997 Turbo in brown, no less, along for the ride. We're going to have a little look around, we're going to see my favourite lots in the upcoming auction this weekend. But my Turbo is back on the channel, and I must say it's absolutely filthy. It's been sitting outside on my driveway, and it's not had the best time out there. Usually all my cars, particularly my 911s and fun stuff, all garaged, but yeah, it's had quite a sad time outside the front of the house on the driveway, but there we go. Driven, not hidden, or whatever the phrase is that boring people like to say. Fantastic. Very much enjoying this car. It's fantastic. Everyone should have a 997 Turbo in their fleet. Anyway, let's take a look around then, because we've got a full hall here at Ascot Racecourse, full of cars inside, and there's some special lots that I think you guys and girls should be bidding on, and I may have a little flutter on also, so let's kick off. Here we go then, as if on cue. We've got a 612 Scaglietti in front of me here. This is part of a renowned car collection, the Cheeseborough collection. This car has only covered 28,000 miles and is being offered with no reserve. Although a Pininfarina design, it was actually when Frank Stevenson was at Pininfarina, so a very, very well regarded design. Inside here, wallet, we've got the F1 gearbox, which not the fastest change in the world, but for a cruiser like this doesn't really matter. Obviously it's got 4 seats, big whopping V12 in it, and it's being offered with no reserve whatsoever. Amazing service history, uprated hi-fi in there, the Bose hi-fi. Very, very good news that, and those wheels are a lovely, lovely design. Very cool. As I say, no reserve on that car. Those that have seen these videos before will know how this works by now, but there's a number top of the screen up there. You go and put that into the historic site, and it'll bring up all the details for this particular car. I will walk around and be showing you stuff, but there's not time to go through absolutely everything here. As it is with YouTube, retention is a very difficult thing to get. Banging on about absolutely everything is impossible. But as I said, the numbers on it, the corner of each windscreen, so you can go and have a look. If there's anything that tickles your pickle that I haven't talked about, you can have a little look. Obviously, you can bid on it this weekend. There are viewing days ahead of the auction, so you can come down here in person, have a little look around. You can also go over there, there's a history files section. Over there you can go through all the history, you can register to vote as well, and if you don't register in person you have to register online before you bid. I found out with the Zagato that you've got to register. This is really, really nice. This is obviously a 599, but it's got the all-important bucket seats in there. Carbon absolutely everywhere, including driving zone, which is key good. Old school handbrake, probably one of the last models that actually even have one of those. Such a cool design, these. Looking better and better with age. And my favourite feature, I always point this out on 599s, little flying buttress there, you put your little hand through there. Very good news that, lovely, lovely stuff. Koyo inside. On the wrist today, by the way, is the new Cartier Tank Francais. Automatic movement, quite a nice size on these, and as I say, it's the new tank with the auto movement on it, blued hands and that lovely kind of silvery dial on there, lovely. With a tiny, tiny date wheel that not even I can read. So lot number 238 is a car that's roughly the same age as me. It's giving the game away there. It is a 1987 Ford Sierra RS Cosworth. And this particular car is very special. Not only has it only covered 38,000 miles, but it's had £80,000 spent on the car over the past 20 years. It's actually had a new 550 brake horsepower engine fitted by Blue Sprint Motorsport, which means it's now Group A specification, which is absolutely wild. Let's open up, have a little look inside. But what I love is the fact that that's all been spent on the car. It's been rigorously upgraded to Group A spec, but you'd never really know it looking in here. It looks pretty much totally standard, apart from the odd clue. I mean, here's one of them. Very, very nice indeed. That is lot number 238, and if Lenny from Urban is watching this, I'm sure he'll approve. We have a Vanquish there in a very rare blue. That's lot number 232. We've got 328 GTS, I believe. Testing my Ferrari knowledge there. That's lot number 226. We've got this here, which is actually very, very interesting. You may have seen it on Instagram already. This particular car is a 550 Maranello with a difference. There are only 33 of this particular variant ever built, and only 10 of them are right-hand drive, with only 9 remaining, because I think someone obviously stuffed one at some point. So there's only 9 of these ever made. This is a world record edition, a WSR actually, a world speed record edition, to commemorate 3 speed records that Ferrari achieved in Columbus, Ohio, with a kind of souped up version of this car. Obviously 550s had great success on track, and this was kind of the swan song, best, most spicy version available of it. There's all sorts of differences with this car over and above the standard 550. You get things like leather lined roll cage, you get bucket seats in there, you get the Fiorano handling package, sports exhaust, and a couple of other bits and bobs. But such a nice piece of kit, and obviously carbon backed bucket seats you can see through there, and of course a manual gearbox. Only 9 of these remaining in right hand drive in the world, and I don't actually know, you'll have to go and check the auction. You'll have to go and check the catalogue whether or not that plate actually comes with it, because if it does, that is a very, very collectible Ferrari. That's beautiful. I absolutely adore that. Speaking of which, we've got a Vanquish S here. Lovely, lovely cars. And I have been fiddling around with the idea of getting one of these and manual converting it. Great car. Design's looking better by the day. Adore these. Very, very good news. That's lot number 247. Right then, lot number 218 is this, a 1972 Ferrari Dino 246 GT. It's only covered 21,750 miles, which is quite remarkable for a car of that age. And I hope you agree with me, these are absolutely stunning. Over £54,000 has been spent on this particular car at Modena Engineering, and it's been in current ownership for the past 37 years. It's a European delivered example. It's actually right-hand drive. On the list of things that £54,000 covers was new CV boots, new engine mounts, overhauled starter motor, alternator, recombing of bumpers, suspension inspection, new shock absorbers, new bushers, new under tray, work to internal floor panels, outer floor sills, new gear. I mean, you get the idea. It's had basically everything done on it. It wants for absolutely nothing, and I think these are going to be good news. Look at the condition on this thing though. These wheels are a work of art. Speaking of work, some work going on here at all times. That is lovely, and I think that's actually Rosso Dino. There we go. So this is where the auction takes place. You can of course bid online, but if you want to be in the room, this is where it's going to be. Vicky Butt Henderson's going to be up there banging the gavel, as she usually is. Or I don't know if she'll be banging it. I think she might be saying stuff up there. Right, underneath this cover then, you might be thinking, Tom, that looks like a very dreary SUV. What on earth are you showing us this for? This is a car with probably one of the best stories I've heard in a long time. This Jaguar I-Pace was now the King's. At the time, it was Prince Charles's car, but this particular car was his. It's the first electric car to ever be owned by a royal, and Prince Charles actually bought this out of his own money, not taxpayers' money, before you all start shouting. And the car actually came in Eiger Grey, which is a JLR grey colour, which many of you will know, but he gets all his cars in a colour called Loire Blue. So he ordered the car and then got it repainted. Why he didn't just order it in blue, I don't know, but it is a Jaguar I-Pace owned by the King himself, which is absolutely wild. The vendor of this car bought it when she was just looking for an I-Pace. I don't know why I'm putting the cover back on. I'll show you some more of it. Not that I'm sure you're that interested. The story's more interesting than the car, potentially. These are a very, very good EV, to be fair. They're one of my favourite EVs ever. But the story's really cool because the lady who bought it was just looking for an I-Pace, and she thought, I like the blue one, you know, it's got good spec. But there was some confusion when she turned up. She said, you know, it's coming through as a grey car when I've done one of these car check things. What on earth's going on, you know? Has it been stolen, recovered? What's happening? And the dealership actually said, well, actually, it was old King Charlie's, and he had it repainted. So wild, wild story. But that is coming up for auction this weekend, and remains to be seen what this actually gets to, because royal cars do really, really well. We've seen it with Princess Diana's RS Turbo. We've seen it even with the Queen's X-Type Range Rover and whatnot that's gone through historic. So remains to be seen. So keep your eyes peeled on that with the cover back on it. I don't know why I put that back on. Bentley Continental GT, very nice. We've got 10 inside. Very nice. Bucket seats too. I believe those bucket seats are the same seats you get in a Veyron. There we go. Fact of the day. Rapide as well. I think these are absolutely stonking, and I just want to show you why I love the Rapide, because look how cool it is in there. Right, the front's cool. We've got buckets, blah blah. Okay. How cool are your kids going to think that is? Look at it in there. It's like being in Concorde or something. Absolutely brilliant. Screens in the back of the seats and all sorts of tech in there for them to fiddle and brake. But that is really cool. 2 bucket seats in the back. V12. Love those. Absolutely love those. Rapide is mega. And they don't sell for much. They're really, really good value. And actually, numbers-wise, they sod all of these. So I think Rapides are a good shout and a good Lusso replacement. A sort of bargain Lusso replacement. There we go. It's been to Salon Privé, so you know the owner was a good old boy. Lamborghini Urraco S there. That is a V8 Lamborghini designed to compete with the Dino, which we've just seen. And this being an S is one of the latter variants, which was uprated. 1974, I believe that car is. We've got some quirky stuff here. So we basically got 2 Jensen Interceptor resto mods here, which is absolutely wild. They're not really an area of my expertise. I'm not sure really what is an area of my expertise, but that is lot number 234 if you fancy a gander at that. And probably one of your last chances. Oh wow, look at that. That is really nicely done. Very, very cool. So it remains to be seen what that picks up at auction. There's actually 2 of these here, which is wild. We've got a green NSX. This is an auto. There's also a silver manual up here as well. So that will obviously go for a better price than the manual. I say better. Better for the buyer, not better for the seller. I've got a classic Mini there. Mr. UK Minis has already got his eye on that one. I was strolling around earlier and I actually sent this to a good friend of mine saying, shall I? Look at this. Have you ever seen a better wafter than that? South of France in that is hell. Look at it. Look at the size of that thing. It's only got 2 doors. Unreal. Absolutely unreal. I adore this. What I love, heated seats in the back, and you've got an air scarf, and that pinstriping on that wood the whole way through there. Imagine just sitting in the wheel of that, cruising around the soft. Lovely. Right, behind this filming equipment here, we've been filming the podcast this morning, which will be out very soon. Actually, after the auction, this is a Tommy Mackinnon Lancer Evo. I mean, you all know what that is, but it's a Lancer Evo VI. Weirdly, I was actually looking at Lancer Evos last night online, thinking, should I get one? Should I add one to the garage? Do I need something JDM now to tickle that itch? But these are only going up in popularity. Obviously, this is probably one of the most recognizable sort of limited variants they did. It's covered 93,000 kilometers, so the price on it will be relatively sensible, I suspect. Tommy Mackinnon obviously won the World Drivers' Championship with this, and off the back of that, Mitsubishi sold 6,000 Evolution 4s off the back of that win. So they were absolutely hoofing through Evos, but by the time it came to the Lancer Evo 6, they developed this limited edition, which actually has a more responsive titanium turbocharger, uprated and lowered suspension, quicker steering, a different exhaust, a new ECU, and beefed up transfer case internals, a redesigned front bumper there as well, and 17-inch WRC Enkai alloy wheels, which I actually don't know if these are the same wheels. There is another one at Historics, which is down there, which has got, I think, the Enkai wheels in it. So I think these might be upgraded ones from them. I'm not 100%. But you also get things like this from standard Recaro seats inside and a Momo wheel, which the wheel has been replaced, I see. That wouldn't be too difficult to put back, but the Recaro seats are original. Really, really cool. Bee's knees. I do really want one of those. The estimate on this is around 30 grand. Do let me know though, do I need a Lancer Evo in the garage, or a Pajero Evo, or do I need a Subaru Impreza P1 or a Forest STI? I have got an inkling to get something JDM at the moment, or do I need a Skyline? Let me know. Around 30 grand, what should I get? But that is absolutely hoofing, and that is lot number 221. We have got so much car. This is absolute chaos. I haven't done my homework on this particular car. It's lot number 160. Good lord, that can only mean this thing's complete havoc. It's got GT wing on it. It's obviously turbocharged. Looks like basically full race spec. You're more than welcome to go and check out the full spec on this thing on site. Yeah, complete havoc. Perfect. That is absolutely wild. Perfect. Lot number 160. Go and check that one out. I'm sure you won't be disappointed. Mayhem. There's so much going on here. Convertible Landy. I urge you to sign up for the catalogues, the paper catalogues. They're only a few quid and they get sent through, and it's a much better way of thumbing through and seeing everything that goes in each auction. They come out about a week before each auction. Here is a 944 turbo in standard guise, unmolested. Look at that. Very rare, you see that, right-hand drive. I've got a hankering for one of these. There's a couple in this auction actually. There's a black one as well, but I would like a 190 SL. I do like these. I obviously adore the 300 SL, but I'm not made of money, so I would actually, I would like that. Would it get any use? Probably not. But I like the idea of that. Well, Mr. Max Chilton's got one of these. Wafts around in that with his other half. Quite a good look, although I think I would just look like I'd stolen it if I was driving one of those. And we've got 430 there as well. It is the auto. So again, that's going to be relatively sensibly priced. And I do think the design on these is good. What Pininfarina do so well, they do designs that just last and get better with age. And I don't know how they manage it. Bucket seats as well. Really nicely spec'd 430 actually, that. Grey alloys. Very nice indeed. That is lot number 212. Coming back out here then, there are loads and loads and loads of cars here. I'm sure you've sussed that. I did cover this one on the Historics channel. This is a 996 C4S. It's had a new engine in it, which is absolutely brilliant for a car you just want to drive and drive and drive and drive. Great. And the new engine that's been put in has had the IMS bearing done as well. So the engine is 12 years newer than the actual car. So that represents something I think will go through a pretty good price. So keep your eye on that one if you're after a 996 C4S that you can drive the absolute wheels off. That is of course a manual, or I probably wouldn't be pointing out to you. We have also got vintage G-Wagon, 2-door, G300, lovely stuff. Look at that, woof. We've also got an old school Mazda there as well. It goes from the sublime to the ridiculous down here. We have that. I mean, I don't know whether or not that would cause you any legal grief driving around in that, whether or not anyone will actually think you're a real police officer in that. Either way, that's mayhem. We've got an as new MG Metro there. Original wheels, original interior. Absolutely wild. Very, very cool. I think that's a 1988 car. And SL. One thing that Historics is really good for, if you're ever after like a super barge, like a Bentley or a Rolls Royce or anything like that, from yesteryear, there are so many that go through. This is a really good place to pick one of these up for not a huge amount of cash. I am entering my era that I've got a hankering for one of these that can no longer be ignored. So I may well do something silly at some point. That is lovely, needs a little bit of love, but those wheels on that SL with that kind of tan interior with wooden steering wheel is cash. It's got a Momo steering wheel, chaos. There's a 500 SL. Again, if you're after a bit of a project, it'll probably go through pretty cheap. And actually, one of these restored and done up, I think the value trajectory on them looks pretty good. So that is a good little doer-upper. Get out of there. Get out of the Rolls Royce there. I did want to come over and show you this. I did touch on this again in the Historics video I did. But this is an X50 996 Turbo. You could be forgiven for thinking it's a Turbo S, but effectively the early Turbo S's were called Turbo X50. So they're basically exactly the same car. Uprated power, and importantly, it is a manual gearbox. It's a cab, but it's also got the metal roof on it too, for those that are not happy with the fabric top all year round. And finally, with my fabric top on my 997, it's getting a tiny bit damp inside. Being sat around outside, it does get a little bit kind of misty in there and stuff, so I just had some dehumidifying stuff put in. That is so interesting, Tom, well done. I've got a 968 here in Rothman's livery. What 968 in this? We've got wingback bucket seats in there. 968 Club Sport, that is hell. Roll cage in the back, round drive, obviously a manual. That's not number 260. That represents a lot of chaotic Porsche. And actually a lot of people that are in the know, and drivers are saying that the 968 Club Sport is one of the best driving Porsches of all time. Genuinely. So that, I mean, I don't know the details on that one. Just to give you an idea, this exists, it's coming up for auction, and go and check it out. I would welcome that at any Porsche meet with open arms. What a fantastic thing. Right, I have to disappear now, but that gives you a little flavour of what Historics auctions have got coming up this weekend. And I will, of course, as always, be keeping a keen eye on the values and see what's going for what, keeping an eye on the market. I suggest you all do the same, because it's good fun seeing things go under the hammer. And you can watch the auction live as it happens up on that stage over on their YouTube channel. So make sure you are subscribed to their YouTube channel. It's myself. Is that better? Or is that worse? You can see me more clearly. That's much worse. Myself, Vicky Butler Henderson, and Matthew Priddy. Matthew is, of course, all things historics. We are over on their YouTube channel, and we've been filming all sorts of stuff with a new series and a new podcast. So make sure you are subbed, subscribed, liking, prodding, commenting, and all the rest of it on that. For now, thank you very much for watching, and if you have got a car that you want to consign or you're thinking about getting rid of, what the Historics team do is they will go and value your car for free. So they'll come out to you, they'll come and see the car, and they'll come and value it for free with absolutely no obligation whatsoever. That doesn't tie you into anything, so just drop them a message. I'll leave the link below to go and do that. If you're thinking of getting out of a car in time for summer, the next auction is in May. It's at Farnborough International, and it's a really good time to be selling. So if you're thinking of coming out, give them a shout. For now, ciao.